So I feel it's not proper for me to speak in front of these great devotees. Therefore, I put the 3 chairs to invite them. And Kshudi Prabhu will discuss. I will do the verse and make some comment. And then get input from Kshudi Prabhu and Maharaj, the other mic. In Srimad Bhagavatam, when the sages were gathered, then Shonak Muni actually said to Sutta Goswami, Tvai kalu puranani seti hashani chanaga akyatani aditani. What's the last line? That you are well versed in the Puranas and the scriptures, and you have understood by your association of great sages. So you are qualified to speak. So these 2 great souls are qualified. Dharma shastani yani uta. That is the last line. You have another copy. I carry my own copy. Put a table here for Prabhu. Where's the table you normally use? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Giribharadhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Giribharadhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanacharya. Yamunatira Vanacharya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Jaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Radhanatha Radha Radhanatha Radhe, Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Haribol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ostatara Satya Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ostatara Satya Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki. Gaurahari Ki. Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki. Yamuna Mai Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki. Places of Lord Krishna's pastimes, including Ayodhya, Vrindavan, and Mayapur Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
So we're going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 14, and Text 45. It's practically 3 verses left, 44, 45, and 46.
We read 44 too, we didn't read that.
You did 44 yesterday?
No, I did 43.
Yes, you did 43 yesterday. So we're looking at 44 and no purport in 44, so 44 and 45. Might as well finish the chapter. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswati vyasa tato jaye udhire nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utama shloke bhakti bhavate naistaki Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya So I'll read the first text 44, which doesn't have a purport, text and meaning, and then we'll do 45 with the word for word. Gaka Krishna tirasvango rasva bahur maha anuha rashvapan nimna nasagro Raktakshastamra murdhaja. This person born from King Vena's thighs was named Bahuka, and his complexion was as black as a crow's. All the limbs of his body were very short, his arms and legs were short, and his jaws were large. His nose was flat, his eyes were reddish, and his hair copper colored. Text 45. Everybody please repeat the Sanskrit and the translation, and then we will read the verse. Tam, unto him, tu, then, te, the sages, avanatam, bowed down, dhinam, meek, kim, what, karomi, shall I do, iti, thus, vadinam, inquiring, nisida, just sit down, iti, thus, abruvan, they replied, tata, my dear Vidura, sah, he, nishada, of the name Nisada, tata, thereafter, abhavat, became, tam tu te vanatam dhinam kim karomiti vadinam niseditya abruvamstata sa nisadastato bhavat tam tu te vanatam dinam kim karomiti vadinam nisidetya bhruvam stata sa nisadastato bhavat tam tu te vanatam dinam Kim karomiti vadinam nisedyat abhruvam stata editya sa nisadastato bhavat. Tvayavadinam dinam kim karomiti vadinam
Nisedhyabhruvam tata
nisedyatbhuvam stata
Sanishadastato bhavat.
sa nishadastato bhavat.
Tute vanatam dinam kim karomiti vadinam nisadete abruvam stata sanishadas tato bhavet.
Nishi Detya Bruvam Stata Sanishadasato Bhavat.
Tam tute vanatam dinam kim karomiti vadinam nisidite abhruvam stata sa nishadastato bhavat.
Tam tute vanatam dinam kim karomiti vyavadinam nisideti abhruvam stata sani sadastato bhavat.
Oh, okay. Tam, unto him. To, then. Te, the sages. Avanatam, bowed down. Dinam, meek. Kim, what? Karomi, shall I do. Iti, thus. Vadinam, inquiring. Nishida, just sit down. Iti, thus. Abruvan, they replied. Tata, my dear Vidura. Sa, he. Nishada, of the name Nishada. Tata, after. Abhavat, Abhavat, became. Shall I do the translation? Translation. He was very submissive and meek, and immediately after his birth he bowed down and inquired, Sirs, what shall I do? The great sages replied, Please sit down. Thus Nishada, the father of the Nishada race, was born. You want to read the purport? What?
The purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It is said in the Shastras that the head of the body represents the Brahmanas, the arms represent the Kshatriyas, the abdomen represents the Vaishyas, and the legs, beginning with the thighs, represent the Sudras. The Sudras are sometimes called black or Krishna. The Brahmanas are called Shukla or white, and the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas are a mixture of black and white. However, those who are extraordinarily white are said to have a skin produced out of white leprosy. It may be concluded that white or golden hue is the color of the higher caste, and black is the complexion of the Sudras. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So the purport is following the appearance of Bahuka, the verses following the appearance of Bahuka. Shri Prabhu spoke about it yesterday. This chapter is actually a very intriguing chapter, and we have seen and we've heard from Srila Prabhupada in the purport, as well as both from Shri Prabhu and His Holiness Ram Govinda Swami Maharaj in their astute explanations, particularly the following themes that I identified while I was following the classes. And we are seeing matters that have been, through the story of King Vena, we are seeing matters and discussions raised about the qualities of leaders and how they should be God conscious as well as take care of the citizens and promote the spiritual activities, particularly those that are contained in the Vedas. And we saw and heard about the role and the qualities of the Brahmanas and how they actually collectively should advise the Kshatriyas, the rulers, and they themselves should be free from the dualities of material existence. And by the dint of their austere and pure practice, the power that they obtain and have, of course that level of Brahmana is not available now in the current. So we're looking at the Vedic system, Srimad Bhagavatam spoken 5,000 years ago. So the Vedic system and how the Vedic system supported this. So we also discussed the divine manifesto for society, which is called the Varnashra Dharma system, and how if everyone is engaged according to their capacity in society and engaged with Krishna in the middle, then that would create a very peaceful and a civilized society. We also discussed, or we heard the discussions, how sinful activity brings disastrous consequences, and we see that through Vena, as well as through the life of Anga and his wife Sunita. We see how previous sinful activities from a past life, even though we're not aware of it in this life, can follow us through to create particular negative consequences or actions or limitations as to what we are capable of doing. So in this purport, in this chapter, actually, we're looking at a central theme, Amoga Virya, the power of the seminal line, or the power of the purity of practice, how it extends through the lineage. So coming from Uttanapad through Dhruva, then eventually 5 generations after Chakshusha Muni, then Anga, and then we see Anga's difficulties, because the sages said in his previous life he was sinful, therefore he could not get a son, and engaged then, having worshipped Vishnu by the advice, receiving the sweet rice from the divine being, giving it to Sunita, she produced Vena. But Vena was very, very cruel, and with no other choice, after Anga abdicated, then had to put Vena, and we see how he conducted himself in such nefarious ways, being himself a great robber and a thief, or a killer, a tormentor. That's what Vena means, and how he's tried to stop the Vedic sacrifices, eventually necessitating that the sages remove him from that position, because they also felt implicated by putting him there in the first place. So by using their Brahmanical power, they removed him. By mantra, Vena was killed. And now we're at that position where they want to continue, because of the Amoga Virya, that Vena's line, his body contained the ingredients to continue to produce a being that could be suitable to rule. And now we are seeing that they churned, Prabhupada uses that term. Elsewhere I read the term kneading, like how you knead roti. So they kneaded his thighs to produce. That's quite a mystical process which Kshudi Prabhu was talking about as well. And that we don't really know what that process is exactly. That's not given. That exact methodology is not given. Also, I mean, it wouldn't be of any use to us because it's beyond our capacity to do something like that. So it's just discussed that they, by their mystic power, they needed, and a being was produced, and that being was known as Bahuka, and his description was given, his character, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Hari ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And then his description was given, and this is the description that we have here in this paragraph, Bahuka, and also his bodily features were given. And when he appeared, he was actually very submissive, and he asked the sages, "What is your instruction for me?" So they said, "Please sit down. Nishada, sit." And therefore the name developed from there, this Nishada, Naishada race was born. And we see that the Naishada is described as being the race of fishermen and hunters, and they lived in the hills and along river banks and so on, and generally committing a lot of sinful activities because they're so materially involved, entrenched, that their life is, according to the Vedic standard, their lives would be very sinful. Now these categories are given in the Bhagavatam, and it distinguishes between different types of groups of people. So I think we should understand that Bhagavatam is speaking, indicating more of the qualities of the person rather than looking at racial divides. Because in this world today, we can't quite also distinguish, because it's quite mixed. Races are quite mixed. We can't quite categorize very clearly between different groups. But the qualities are being spoken about. And here we see a race, a group of people who are very much sinful. So according to the Vedic science, a Vedic standard, this group would be very sinful. Elsewhere in Bhagavatam, I was also reading that these different categories of people are found all over the world. So we hear, I think it's Canto 2, we read about the Kiratas and the Pulindas and the Hunas. Prabhupada explains in the purport very clearly each one of them, like the Kiratas are referred to as aboriginal tribes in India, and the Hunas are the giving rise to the word in English, Huns. As well as the Huns are German, and then the Pulindas were Greek. So in this way, different tribal groups in the world are described in Bhagavatam, and according to their qualities. And most of them are very, very materially engaged, and therefore committing many sinful activities. So we read of the Nishadas in the Mahabharata and in the Ramayana. So I'll ask Shri Prabhu to speak a little here, and then I'll come in again. So those of you who were not here earlier, I said, let me place 3 chairs, because in front of these great souls, how much can a firefly radiate in front of the sun? Not much. So it's was my kind invitation to invite Maharaj, but he didn't want, he declined. Kshudi Prabhu, please comment.
Well, first a correction, I'm not really a great soul. I'm just trying to serve Prabhupada along with the others. So I'm nobody special. I said that over to here. I said, you treat me like I'm special. They said, you are special, but we're all special. But the special branch wasn't very special to me here. That was a different special. So we have to look at these closely. You know, someone could misinterpret this as being racial. Well, the good, white is good, the dark is black. But it says Sudras are sometimes called black, not that they are black, or Krishna. Does that mean Krishna's bad? No, it doesn't say they are black, it says they're called black. Brahmanas are called Shukla, or white, and Kshatriyas are a mixture. So would we interpret from this that all white people are Brahmins, and Indians are Vaishyas and Sudras, and others are Sudras? Or which ones are born as Sudra in this age? Oh, the answer's coming on the phone. I know what they're going to say. It's not my phone. My phone's turned off and locked away in my room.
It's coming from Krishna in the back.
Okay, so it says in this age, Kalos Sudra Sambhava, we're all born as Sudras. So we have to be careful thinking ourselves highly qualified. You know, we all think we're something special. My friend in Laguna Beach says, I may not be much, but I'm all I think about. And so we have to be careful in thinking this way. And Prabhupada is saying it here, that they're sometimes called black, and Brahmanas are sometimes called white. Not black people are Sudras, white people are Brahmanas. And we see, as far as looking in prejudice, how Prabhupada treated them. You know, Prabhupada says all the people can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. He very much accents the verse that Krishna says, which contradicts the caste system, where the caste system says if you're born in that family, that's what you are. In India, they say like that, well, if you're born in a Brahmin family, then you don't have to do anything, you're just a Brahmana. But if that works, if someone's born in an actor's family, they're automatically an actor, and everybody will like their movie. That, under the same theory, that would be true, right? Or someone born in a doctor's family, they're automatically a doctor, just because they're born in a family, correct? It's like Prabhupada says, you go to the doctor, he quotes the verse, it slipped my mind. What does Krishna say? It's by quality and acts. Guna karma vibhagashaha is by the quality and actions. He doesn't say, if you go to the doctor, my dear doctor, are you a Christian? Are you a Jewish? Are you a Brahmin? Or do you want to see their medical qualifications? That's what you want to see, not whether they're a Christian or a Jew or a Brahmin. So some of the Indian people think that if they're born in a Brahmin family, they're automatically a Brahmin. And if they're not, so they apply this to other things. Just like if someone's not born in an actor's family, no one goes to see their movie based on this. Is that true? Is it? Do they check to see? Now, who was the one? He's in every commercial in India. His name will come to me in a minute. Amitabh Bachchan. Now, he was not born in an actor's family, so nobody watches his TV show or goes to his movie, correct? Is that correct? No, it's false. They all watch it. And he has some television show. Probably because he speaks the Hindi very correctly. I realize when I go to a village that many people speak Hindi there, but many of them didn't really learn the grammar, and they slur the words. You hear someone like him speak it, or some of the people in Vrindavan speak the Hindi very clearly, and there's some that don't. So he wasn't born in an actor's family, but nobody cares. His son was born in an actor's family, so that automatically makes him a good actor, right? There's something like he's the star of more flopped movies than... They figure, well, he's the son of an actor, he will do well in a movie, correct? It's a good theory, but it didn't work that way. So nobody goes to see them. So it isn't true, but you do have a better chance. If you're born in that, you need to learn it. And this is why the Varnashram Dharma needs to be taught to people. We need to have it where we have not just Brahmins in a temple, but people who are Kshatriyas leaders, and farming communities where we farm subsistently, organically, not using poisons. And South Africa's behind on those things. It's behind like on electricity. It's behind in, we don't really have any farms here, and even many devotees don't have the concept of organic. I saw them spraying poison yesterday, and I asked them to stop. The other place, you go to the eco farm in Mumbai, how much poison is there? None, right? We're trying to set the example, because when you use, I went to organic farm once, and the fruits are so good they don't need sugar, and the vegetables were so good they don't need salt, because they're grown with love for Krishna and grown with the proper fertilizer, not just the chemical ones that deplete the soil, and they become very good. Now what they try to do is over salt and over sugar, because the soil's been depleted and has no real taste. So we need to learn this Varnashram Dharma. And it doesn't matter which family someone was born in. They need to be trained to do it. It's a big misconception to think that if someone's born in a Brahmin family, they're automatically a Brahmin. They don't need to learn how to do anything. And if they're not born in a Brahmin family, even if they're qualified, we don't accept that. You know, Lord Chaitanya showed this by saying that you should become the guru and teach everyone how to chant. And he says that it doesn't matter if one is a sannyasi or a grahastha or a merchant. If he knows the science of Krishna, he's to be known as guru. So in the Vedic tradition, some of these things go just by tradition. They're not by what goes in the Shastra. Just like the Smarta Brahmins think that you have to be born in a Brahmin family to be a Brahmana. We don't go by the Smarta. We go by the Goswami Vichar, not the Smarta Vichar. And so they think and that only the householder can be a guru. Does this mean that Madhavendra Puri should not have initiated Ishwar Puri and Advaitacharya? He is a sannyasi. Lord Chaitanya went and took a diksha from Ishwara Puri, and he took sannyas from someone who was a sannyasi. How about Jiva Goswami gives initiation? How many of the ones that were swamis in Lord Chaitanya's gave initiation? Lord Chaitanya is that's why I said at the beginning of this, that we honor all the holy places, like Mathura and Vrindavan, where Krishna appeared, Ayodhya, where Rama appeared, and where Lord Chaitanya appeared, and he shows Sat Bhuj that he's Krishna, Rama, and Lord Chaitanya, and he's showing for this age that it doesn't matter if someone is a grahastra or a sannyasi. Do you think that we should invalidate all the sannyasis who've initiated and only let householders initiate? Or does it matter if they know the science of Krishna? It matters, we need to know what someone's devotional qualities are. The one person he had a can out collecting, and he says, Guru Dakshin, Guru Dakshin. And I says, who's your guru? And he has to think for a minute. That's a bad sign. If you have to think who your guru is, you either don't have one or you're not devoted enough to be collecting Dakshin. And he thinks for a second, and he says, Hare Krishna Swami. That's it. I'll give money to his guru, Hare Krishna Swami. So, we need to think about things. We need to think about the actions we do. If someone else is upset, do we just get upset? If something's easy, do we do things the easy way? Or do we calculate as what is the best thing and who is qualified? And if you don't know what is a qualified guru, they start lecturing from the 19th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and you think, wow, this person is more advanced than the others because he's giving knowledge no one else is giving. It's like the conspiracy theories. People tell you about these conspiracy theories, and you think, wow, they're so smart. They're as smart as the people who talk from the 19th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, because they're teaching me things no one else is teaching. But you know why no one else is teaching these conspiracy theories or the 19th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Who can tell me? There's no 19th chapter, and many of these conspiracies are all just made up. So if I make it up, does that make me the authority that no one else knows it? No. I can tell you about the rock concert they performed in the park yesterday. And I'm very smart because nobody knows about the music festival in the Gandhi Park except me. Does that make me smarter than everyone else? Or does it mean I belong to the Sampradaya that talks conspiracy theories and talks from the 19th chapter and comes up with all kinds of speculated things? This is Swami Hajpajananda at the Concoction Society. And they figure, why go by scripture? I'll just concoct my own philosophy. You hear some of the word jugglers concoct this. There was one impersonal Swami came with us on a plane when we arrived in South Africa. And he gave in his talk. He says, I have realized in my travels around the world that you have to travel around the world because the world is round. He said, there is a lie in belief. Just spell it, B-E-L-I-E. See, there is a lie in belief. He said, and hell is simply shell with the S removed. So we went to he was staying at the European's house, and he put the daughter on his lap. And Rishi Kumar Swami said to him, he says, you know, as a sannyasi, you shouldn't put a girl on your lap. He says, well, sometimes you put young girls on your lap to show the affection that you're caring for little children. Rishi Kumar says, this girl is the exact wrong age because she's 16. She's too old to be a child, and she's too young to be an adult. So at least if they were 20, you could say it's a consenting adult. Or if they're 3, you could say they're a child. But at 16, it's like a double wrong. You don't put the girl on your lap because she's not a small child, and she's not an adult either. She's fully developed, but not mentally enough. So we can't concoct ideas. And that's why we don't concoct from this that they're saying black is good and white is bad. We see many of our people who are saintly people. Most Indians are darker than white people. Does that mean the white people are more Brahmins than they are? How about the albinos? If this is true, then albinos are the most spiritual people. And which race do albinos appear in? White, Indians, or black? All of them, right? And they'll see a black person or an Indian that's albino, talk to them in English, and they don't speak a word of English. But they're white, they should speak English, right? Because white people speak English. So if you're an albino, does that make you a white person? You can't be a black person if you're white. But they're born in a black family. The one devotee was telling me that people didn't know it, but the one person had 2 African parents and he came out white. But what he didn't know was that his mother and father were brother and sister. Is it a little strange when your uncle and your father are the same person? And your aunt and your mother? The family tree goes straight up and down. This is obviously not recommended, right? We don't recommend that people marry their brother or sister. Anybody ever heard this recommended? No, it's not recommended. So the fact that the child turned out white means that they're automatically a Brahmin? No, it doesn't mean that. So we don't judge by the externals. And whatever condition someone is in, we try to elevate that person. We try to be based on knowledge and do the proper things ourselves and understand what Prabhupada is really meaning and how we can uplift people from wherever they're at. And that's why we try to set in a good example of how we can engage people. Bhakti Swami wanted to start farms here, particularly for African people, where they could take care of cows and do organic farming. Somehow South Africa's lower on farms than anywhere else in the world, I think. We should always look at what our assets and liabilities are. We don't have to become bothered by it. It's just like I was telling Ram Govinda Swami. I'm not threatened that I was getting initiated when Lokanath Swami and Radhanath Swami joined. I'm not threatened when people are more Krishna conscious than me or somebody knows business than me. I'm only threatened if someone's an expert in gun or knife fighting and they're chasing me with one. So we shouldn't become envious. If someone has a good idea, then we're happy about it. Whether they joined the movement later than us or they're younger than us, if they have a good idea and they know something, if they're repeating something from Prabhupada, do I say, I was initiated before you? It's just like I joke with my friend, my last name begins with an S and his with a Z. I says, well, I got my high school diploma before you. He says, it was only a couple of minutes before. And I say to Badri Narayan Swami, well, you're so much more advanced than me because you joined in the 60s and I joined in the 70s. He says, well, I came in August of 69 and you came January 5th of 70. So, we don't run around trying to impress people. It's like Jayapataka Swami says. And we should pray for him because he's going through some health difficulties in Ahmedabad. The people want to know how much you care before they care how much you know. I don't want to make myself the big head high potentate. If someone else has some good knowledge, I learn it. It's just like Tukaram in Laguna Beach. He's a real scholar. And as much as I study, he knows more than me. He's also good at fighting. That's why I say he's good to have for a friend, because he knows how to size people up and give the advice they need. And he's too big to have for an enemy anyway. But what he does that's interesting is he'll put together a group of people, like when there was COVID or something we need to do, like on the farm, we add things. We have a small organic farm where we get some vegetables from and all of our milk. We don't take any milk that's from cows that'll never be killed. So what he does, he gets a council of people, and he asks someone to speak. And then he asks for other people to contribute. And then he gives some ideas. And he knows how to take the ideas of the people and promote what's the best so that everybody agrees to it. So even though he could just say, this is what we're doing, he gets a consensus of people, and he says, well, this person is a little too far on the right, and this person maybe, no, he doesn't say it too far. He says, this person is expressing the conservative view, and this one, the liberal view. Does anybody have middle of the road view? Because quite often people argue the extreme right and the extreme left, where you can find lots of faults, and they forget that in the middle, there's some ideas. So what we need to do is discuss the ideas and think things over carefully before we take action, so that we know that that's the best thing to do. It's like some of the devotees said they were here in the park, and there was a group of about 20 people drinking, and one of them threw a bottle, so they threw the bottle back. Now you have to calculate, if people are drunk and they're throwing a bottle at you, are you going to solve something by throwing one bottle back? Like if some big guy is coming up to me, do I slap him? That's not going to help. I either need to pacify him, get away, or I need to hit him with a very large object. But you can't take that position right away. You have to try the easy position first, just like these sages did. They tried to talk nicely to King Vena. They tried that first. Then when that didn't work, you try something. You don't go straight to antagonism. So we shouldn't interpret this as being racial. Prabhupada was not racial. He included people from all races and all walks of life. He said that's why they're sometimes called white and sometimes called black. We don't think black people are bad and white good. You have something more to say?
Thank you very much, Shri Prabhu. You have a wealth of realized knowledge, Vigyan, application of this Shastra. So perhaps I could conclude with some ideas about that the theme that we are seeing throughout here is that the Brahmanas are concerned about the welfare of society. So therefore they are acting in these particular ways. And of course the entire Srimad Bhagavatam begins with that concern, that what is likely to happen, where are the religious principles going to if Krishna has now left. Krishna swa dhamopagate dharma jnani dibisaha kalo nasto puranarko dhunodita. So now that Krishna has gone back to the spiritual world accompanied by his religious principles, then where are these principles taking shelter? So they are taking shelter in Srimad Bhagavatam. And there we see the sages concerned for the welfare. Therefore, the entire Bhagavatam where the sages are acting, you see that they're acting out of concern for Krishna and for re-establishing the principles of Dharma, and therefore they're engaging with these activities. All that they are doing is trying to establish a king, like as you'll see from what has happened is when the body of Venu was churned, then it's described they were initially disappointed with who appeared first, Bahuka, who's actually the personification of all the sinful activity that was contained in Vena. But thereafter, when this purification takes place, you will hear in the next chapter the appearance of Prithu Maharaj, who's actually an empowered Shakti Avesh avatar of the Supreme Lord. So the Nishadas, although classified as a group of sinful people, are not excluded from devotional service, because all of us are practically Nishadas. Kalos Sudra Sambhava, the entire planet is full of sinful people, and we are all sinful. And by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we see how the great sages, and I'll give two quick examples. The great sages like Narad Muni, right? It is only by the mercy of the pure devotee that the principles of Dharma can be re-established and the sinful persons can be transformed. Nothing else. So we see Narad Muni in his forest, on his ventures. In the forest he saw these half-killed animals. And one of the Nishadas was doing that. And who was that person? Mrigrari, the hunter, because the Nishadas are hunters and fishermen. So the hunter, Mrigrari, he was killing, and not even killing them fully, half killing, meaning leaving them in pain. And Narad Muni eventually encountered him and presented to him the scenario of how he will suffer the reactions of what he's doing, and showed him the vision, gave him a vision of the consequences, which then transformed Mrigari when he saw what is awaiting him. He came to his senses that he's causing pain by the mercy. So, lava matra sadhu sangha, 1/11 of a second, sarva siddhi hoy, that all the perfections will be, you'll be enabled, you'll become transformed, you give up your sinful activity. Another example is, again, Narad Muni encountered in Treta Yuga, Valmiki, who was a Brahmana but got lost in the forest and was raised by the Nishadas. So he became a robber, a highwayman, robbing everybody, until Narad Muni encountered him and asked him, why are you robbing everybody? He says, I'm looking after my family. This is the only way I know how. And Narad Muni says, go ask them. Will they take the reaction of your actions? And he went and asked his wife, and she said, no. So he came to his senses also. I'm doing all of this, but nobody is actually wanting to share in the consequences of what I'm doing. So then he fell at the feet of Narad Muni and begged, what should I do? And that's how Narad Muni instructed him. You chant Hare Krishna. Chant. But he could not chant. So sinful that only vile words would appear from his mouth. So everything he was saying was murder, murder, kill, kill. So Narada Muni said, okay, you chant Mara, which he could do, Mara. Keep chanting Mara. So Mara, 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 Mara. And in that way. So you can see that these sages are also brilliant strategists. They know what to do according to the mentality of the living entity and engage them in that way. So in our lifetime at least, well, not personally, but we have been affected by Srila Prabhupada, who saved all the Nishadas in this world. He traveled the planet and it was predicted. Chaitanya Bhagavat, it says, Yadi chadi papi dharma dhur yeshya mora senapati bhakta hoive tataya. That Yadi chadi papi dharma dhur yeshya. That these chadi, these sinful, these papi, sinful people, even if the sinful people flee, dharma dhur yesh, they go to the desh that is far, the west, even if they flee to the west. Mora Senapati, my commander-in-chief of my armies, my spiritual armies. What will he do? He will pursue them and he will deliver them. So he went, Srila Prabhupada. So we can see by the mercy and by the concern of the pure devotees of the Lord, all they have is the welfare of this world at heart. And therefore these sages who are advising and as well as actioning their discussion that they had on the banks of the Saraswati river, that this is what we shall do, we'll dispose of King Vena and then replace him with the suitable king. So they are engaging in that. Although, in one sense, it's not the dharma of the brahmanas to even engage with that. But this is what they are doing to re-establish the righteous rule, the dharmic rule. And in the Leela of Prithu Maharaj, we'll see how that unfolds. So I'd like to stop there. Thanks, Kshudi.
One quick comment.
Sure.
Something I notice we have, look at our activities and where we can improve, is that I notice compared to some countries that in South Africa, devotees are a little weak on reading and understanding philosophy. At one Namhat, I asked the chapter titles of Bhagavad Gita and only one person knew them, and that's a simple one. It's not like Maharaj was talking about the 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. That may be a little harder to explain. But the chapter titles we can know. And the other thing is, with this century, with the Google, if you want to know what Prabhupada says about certain things, you can Google it. People are like, my stepmother said, well, why do you need a computer? You can go to the library. But if you want to know what the austerity of speech is, you Google it and it tells you what it is. It tells you it's the 15th verse of the 17th chapter. You go to the library, it may be closed, or they want to know what book it's in, you don't know, but you ask what Prabhupada said on a certain subject matter, and it comes right up in Google. You Google Krishna, it says the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So quite often when we don't know what to do, we should consult with the books or check on Google as to what is the best action to take. That's why Krishna says that work with deliberate spiritual intelligence, that we've looked carefully to see what is the best action, and then we're sure about that. We don't just bumble into things. We know what is the proper thing to do, and then we go with determination, which means we've determined that that's the best course. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Unless Google tells you he's a forest god.
Oh.
So we'll have to check.
No, but you can find out. When you ask what Prabhupada said, it will come up. He is a forest. He's a Vanamala.
I understand that. I'm just having a little
That's why you
joke.
refer to the books.
So, yeah.
Use it for a reference. It tells you where to look, right?
Yes, that comes up. it's a good source for research, for class and so on. So thank you. The ease of technology has made all of this information accessible, and we should use it in Krishna's service. And then that will be the most worthy use of Google.
Yes, and thank Sridharvara for reestablishing the internet, because Google was not available until he fixed it. We could go to the library, but I don't think it was open.
Maharaj, you'd like to comment? Please give Maharaj a mic. Yes, okay, Maharaj, it's all right. People, we have the real hunger for knowledge. 2 minutes more won't make a difference for breakfast.
Bhagavatam has to be understood in two ways. One is the story form. And Bhagavatam has nothing to do with the stories. Because normally we are not inclined to understand the philosophy. We can say, you can see the TV for a long time, you never get sleep. The moment you open Bhagavatam, start reading, you get the sleep. Bhagavad, because we don't want it. Mind wants very easiness. That's why all the spiritual activities in the Puranas given in the story form. After hearing, one should go in little further, think in the spiritual way. That's why Acharyas, every Acharya, after going through the Bhagavatam, everyone commenting on that one. In the beginning of the creation, or you can say, after Vyasa Maharshi puts everything in written, all the great sages and acharyas doing the commentary on the Bhagavatam. And no one says that I am perfect. Nobody can say. But the Lord is unlimited. His knowledge is also unlimited. If somebody say, I know all Bhagavatam is in the dream. So it has to be applied in the both ways, then there won't be contraction. Here, brown, white means represents the goodness. Black represents the mode of ignorance. Between the color, like we know, what are the basic colors in the, no? How many basic colors are there? Red, blue and yellow. Only these are the three basic colors. But the permutation combination, you get more than 800 colors. Though we take it 27 main color, but total permutation combination, you can make more than 800 colors. Otherwise, only three colors. In the same way, the qualities wise, only two colors, white and black. And remaining mixture of that one, other colors come up in the qualities wise. So here black means the illumination. Srila Prabhupada also somewhere say that. I think Bhagavatam. The Brahman means intelligentsia. Kshatriya means administrative class. Vaishya means it has been the banking and finance department, mercantile community. Shudra means an unskilled level. The intelligentsia comes like a doctor, scientist, teachers, professors. They are intelligentsia because they have to be knowledge. Without knowledge, we cannot teach anyone. So here the white represents the intelligence, knowledge. Kshatriyas must have the knowledge, but at the same time, the Brahman means what? For him, they know anxiety, fully content. Chamo damastapasocham shantirarjameva jnana vijnanam astikyam brahma karma saud. It doesn't have the astikyam, desire to accumulate. Anyone, no matter how pure devotee or anybody, Brahmana, you got the desire, small desire to acquire or accumulate the property or money, you no more a Brahman. It downgraded to Kshatriya, Vaishya. Brahman should not even depend what I am going to eat in the afternoon. What you get now, that is the time. Because whether I live for afternoon or not, astikyam that is. So one, you can see in the Gondes Brahmanas, never used to have all the Brahmanas you find only poor families. You can see whole history. And I can say up to 1960 I saw Brahman, any rich person. Only one dhoti. I never saw any Brahman putting the shirt also. Only one chadar on the shoulder, nothing else. Nowadays it's not possible that. But Brahman means it is a man of intelligence, and when they speak, you will forget the time. The white means the one who got the knowledge. Kshatriyas, they have to have the knowledge, at the same time they want some ambitious. That's why they are mixed color. Here also the purport gives that Kshatriyas must be like that. So that's why they are mixed colors. Kshatriyas need not to be white, need not to be black. You are mixing how much is the knowledge, how much is the ignorance or ambition is there, that becomes passion. Neither passion not pure, passion must have the knowledge, ignorance both. And there the Kshatriyas have the predominantly Satogun, knowledge, but some ambitions. Because our ambition go to downgraded from the so-called Brahman. Srila Prabhupada says that administrative class. Suppose you are a magistrate, police, defense, all district officers like district commissioners, social welfare, all the district administrators, they are the Kshatriyas, administrative class. They have to be in the mode of goodness, also mode of passion. If they are not in the mode of goodness, they cannot justify their jobs. Just if it is not mode of goodness, only passion, will be angry. Oh, you are doing this one. Without inquiry, you can punish. So they have to be in the mode. Kshatriyas have to be. Further downgraded are, the Vaishyas come, they are in the mode of passion and ignorance. Mode of goodness very, very negligible, but mostly they are mode of passion and mode of ignorance. It means that is Kshatriya's color plus completely dark. It is a mixed color. So they have to be ignorance because you are anxious to earn the money, then knowledge is not required. If you put the knowledge, you never can earn any money. You can see all the business people, if they're thinking of what is right, what is not right, you never can do the business. You want the profit. You want the profit, you have to be only how I get the more money. The Yashudra black means completely who are bereft of the transcendental knowledge. Only materialistic knowledge. Anyone who got the materialistic knowledge, nothing to do with the transcendental illumination of the mind, white, that is, they are the Shudras. That's like a skill. The Prabhupada gives definition. Present age gives that the skill and skill labor, they are required. They got the knowledge but no spiritual knowledge. We want to construct the house, we need the skill and unskilled labor. So, in the present situation, that as Prabhupada gives that, we have to take them Shudra means skill and unskilled labor. The colors also it is, just like in the Bhagavatam, I was trying to remember, Daksha Prajapati sent his 10,000 sons to go austerities. They told him to marry and help him to increase the population. Immediately they went for austerities. All the 10,000. So on the way they met Narada Maharshi. Narada Maharshi said, "Where are you going?" And who are you? I am your uncle. Because Daksha Prajapati and Narada both are Brahma's son, both are brothers. So our father said that we must marry and increase the population of the universe to help him. So we are going to perform austerities. Then he started telling, is the life meant for austerity and philosophy? Okay, you are going for that one. Can you tell me? I give 4 questions. If you answer me 4 questions, then you can go far. So you ask 4 questions. They thought that we are sons of Daksha Prajapati, we know the knowledge. He said, what is the river which flows both directions? A river which flows both directions. Both directions. A river flowing in the both directions. what is the cave where you enter but you never come back? Like 4 questions here. Cave. You go enter but you never can come back. One-way traffic. Like 4 questions he asked. They said, we don't know. Tell us. No, I can't tell. You become my disciple, I will tell you. They all said, okay, we accept you disciple. Because with this question, they can't go to concentrate on the austerities and the tapa. They agreed. Then he said that when they agreed, agreed to become disciple, then you promise to remember it. Then that river flowing both the direction is the material nature. Material nature creates and destroys. And the cave which enter one, we won't come back is the Vaikuntha. Yadgatvana nivartante dham paramamo. Like, after that they all became a disciple, he sent them to become sannyasa. So, here the point is that, yes, sometime, Bhagavatam also we take like a general, but also we have to go little thinking like Acharya gives purport same, but we have to little understand that what is the elimination of the knowledge, transcendent knowledge. That's why Prabhupada always said, Vaishnava devotees, not Mataji's, devotees must always be in the white clothes. I was telling this boy also in the morning, remember? Because devotee is supposed to be in the mode of goodness. Putting the white clothes helps the devotee to be situated in the proper Vaishnava qualities, Brahminical qualities. The moment you put the black clothes means, you ask any psychiatrist, they will tell you. By seeing our attire, they will tell you which mode you are. What are the level of intelligence, they will tell you. If you go to any psychiatrist friend, ask them. So black automatically represents the mode of ignorance. Okay. So here the white, black it is. We have to take in the, I think, in the Bhagavatam, because it is transcendental, nothing to do material qualities. The white has to be taken as illumination in the knowledge, which is Brahmanas. Black is to be taken that is the complete bereft of the illumination, transcendent knowledge. You may got the material knowledge, but no transcendent. So either black or Shudra, you can say. Mixed are there, then Kshatriya comes with the knowledge plus ambitious desires. The mixed colors, more white, less black. You can see in the pupil color also, slightly black, but it's good. Huh? And also, and the more black and more, both 50-50 comes up is the Vaishya. You can see Vaishyas mostly, is that color. And Shudras means completely no transcendent knowledge. Only got the material knowledge. That we take it as Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakara Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Adhikar. Krishna is like the sun and Maya is like darkness. Where there's Krishna, there is no question of darkness. Hare Krishna. Thank you much for your kind attention and participation. I learned so much from these very wonderful senior devotees. Hare Krishna.